Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, 8 a.m. We have such a fun guest today. It's time for Biz Talk.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, look at all these smiling faces I have to look at this morning. Welcome to Biz Talk. We are so excited to have y'all here today, and we're really excited about our guest today. We'll get to introduce her in just a moment. I'm Glenna Hum, the president of Fusion One Marketing, and we are always here on Tuesdays and Fridays to talk about small local businesses and hear how they make their business stand out, but also how some of the tips that they have for us along the way. But before we get started, I want to remind you where you can find all of our broadcasts. All right. We have a new podcast, Marketing and a Mic, where you can find all of our broadcasts, Biz Talk, Marketing Mix, pretty much everything we do. So if you take a look, all of those podcast locations. We are also live on YouTube and Facebook when we do these broadcasts, and then you can come back and watch the replays on those as well as all of our other channels. All right. I want to go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves, then I'll introduce our guests. I'll go right to Sarah.
Good morning. I'm Sarah. I'm the director of digital marketing.
And I'm Kelsey, a social media manager with Fusion One Marketing.
All right. Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
All right. Today, you guys are going to just love our guest. I mean, everybody loves her. She's not only hilarious. I mean, she's the funniest lady I think I've ever met, but she's also a grade A insurance agent who always does the best for all of her clients. So we're going to hear more about that in just a minute. But good morning, Lavon.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Well, we are really happy to have you. So Lavon Chaney is with Collins Insurance Agent, but she says that she is with the CIA for short. So we always get a kick out of that. So if you hear us talking about the CIA, it's a little bit different than what you might think we are talking about. So we're going to get right to it, Lavon.
Okay.
Ready to roll? Your red sweater is beautiful.
Thank you.
In this setting, or top.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your background and your family and get us kicked off here this morning.
Okay, certainly. I'd love to. And again, thank you for having me. Y'all's show has been I've so enjoyed watching others on here and so excited that you asked me on. But I am originally from North Carolina. I grew up in a small town, Goldsboro. Shout out to my people there. Graduated from NC State in accounting. Go back. I ended up working for a general contractor as the controller there in Raleigh, and that's where I met my husband. We got married, and we had a baby in Raleigh, Blake, my firstborn, and we decided to move to Birmingham to be closer to Chris's family in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay.
Well, we wanted to move closer to them, but we visited Birmingham and fell in love with it. I mean, it's very similar to the Raleigh Research Triangle area where you're right in between the mountains and the beach. So we just found that perfect. Love the Southern hospitality. We settled in Homewood. We've been here for about 25 years, and we had 2 more children. Our second daughter, Sloan, who's now 24. Blake's 26, Sloan's 24, and then our son, Seth, who's 19. And we have our 2 rescue puppies, Whiskey and Hank.
Oh,
I
love that.
And what breed are your rescue puppies?
Oh, they are one. Hank is a lab mix. He's mostly black lab. And Whiskey's just a little spitfire. She lives up to her name. In fact, we got Hank to try to keep Whiskey company because she wore us out.
Oh,
Hank as in Hank Williams?
Hank Williams Jr. loves Whiskey. That's where it came from.
Aw, that goes perfectly together.
Sarah's having some internet issues, so she'll be back with us in just a few minutes. But I know that you've been in insurance for quite some time. So will you tell us a little bit about your history, your background in being in insurance, and then what led you to being with Collins Insurance Agency?
Yeah, certainly. Well, actually, I just celebrated my first year here at Collins back in March. But I ended up in insurance through a series of events. You know, I'm an accountant by trade. But I was lucky enough to stay home with my children until my youngest was like in middle school. So I picked up side accounting jobs, but kind of dropped out of the real workforce. And then I eased into it by picking up a part-time job at my church, and which led to a marketing job with a company where I marketed to insurance agents. And so I did that for a while, and that kind of sparked my interest in insurance because I always hated it. I never liked to deal with insurance, but after talking to lots of agents, it just made me, I wanted to learn more about it. So I ended up working for an insurance company, a captive agency, which if you're not familiar, captive, they just sell for one company, kind of like your State Farms, your Allstates, all that. And so I was with that company for about 5 years, learned a whole lot, met a very impressive guy named Trevor Collins.
I know him.
And after he left that company, we remained friends. We referred business to each other because he worked with an independent agency, Collins Insurance Agency. And I always liked that. I liked the idea that we could offer different products to customers. We weren't just married to one company. And so when Trevor called me and said there was an opening here, I jumped on it, got an interview with Mike, the agency owner, and the rest is history.
Perfect.
I see a comment over here. Is it Trevor's birthday?
Yeah.
It is actually Cinco de Trevor. That's what we like to refer to.
I love it.
I'll drink a margarita to you later, Trevor.
That's what we're gonna be doing today.
That's awesome.
After work hours.
Well, yes, of course. We have a lot of people tuning in already, Lavon. You have a good group of people over here. We have Melissa Vines Dixon, Cindy Edmonds, Gail Mason, and of course Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. Andy's on. Jeff Gomez says, "Go Wolfpack." Dina Murner's on there, and there's the one and only Harry Slagle tuning in.
Oh yeah,
of course.
And let's see, Cheryl Briley. Is that your sister?
Everybody
from North Carolina. You're my sister. It's my sister.
Yeah, wow. So hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing great this morning. And welcome back, Sarah. Sarah's magic.
About that.
She just pops in and out. No, you're good. You're good. Well, Lavon, you're so funny and you're so clever, and you're in our BNI group, mine and Kelsey's BNI group. So we get to hear a lot about that each week. Always look forward to it. But tell us about your tagline. First, what is your tagline that you go by? And secondly, how'd you come up with that? What's the background behind it?
Okay. Well, I like to use this hashtag in my posts and stuff, and it's CYA with the CIA. And you've already touched on the CIA. And when I first came on here, I looked at that and it just jumped out, and I was like, oh my God, that is so awesome to be, because when you tell people you sell insurance, their eyes glaze over and they find somebody else to talk to. So it's much more interesting to go, I'm a CIA agent, because then that, opens up the door for conversation. And so anyway, I use that because Roxy Kelly, who's the coach in our group, she told me the importance of a tagline. It makes people remember you. So my friend Trevor, he actually came up with the CYA. I will give him credit for that, which stands for Cover Your Assets. So you cover your assets with Collins Insurance Agency. I mean, it's just perfect. So anyway, I kind of like playing on words and stuff like that.
I love it.
You've got all of our BNI chapter like ready for it. Every meeting.
Yes.
We know it's coming. We're
Yeah.
like, oh, we just chant along with you.
I do appreciate it. Even on our Zoom meetings, when I can't hear you, I know you're doing it.
You can feel it.
Yes.
All right, Sarah, we'll go to you.
All right. I love that. It's so catchy, so creative. And I was curious to know, what is the advantage in choosing an insurance broker like yourself?
Well, like I mentioned before, with the difference with an independent agency is you can shop clients in lots of different companies, and you're not beholden to one company. They want the insurance companies want you to write with them. So we have, a little more leeway sometimes, and we're able to move our customers from company to company if need be, if there's a rate increase. If you're just writing for one company and there's a rate increase, all you can do is adjust coverages and stuff. But with an independent, we can help customers by moving, and they don't have to shop around. With an independent, you give your independent agent your information one time, your date of birth, your driver's license, address, everything. And they can quote you out in 10 different companies. I mean, it just makes it easier for the client.
It's really, really valuable. I mean, we do our yearly review. I do with Collins Insurance Agency, and I get to know every year if I still have the best coverage for the best price.
Exactly.
Is it on to you, Kelsey?
Well, I don't know. I feel out of order.
I can ask another question.
I got it. It's okay. I love that silence. Okay, so it's always a hard situation when people think that they're covered for something in their policy, and then something happens and they find out they're not.
Hang on, Kelsey. Hey, Kelsey, real quick. Are you going into tip time here?
I'm so sorry, I am.
No worries. No worries.
All right, come on, ladies.
Let's pull it together.
Oh, goodness. Let's move into a new segment, what we're going to call tip time.
Boom!
Yeah, I'm so excited for new stuff.
All right, let me start over.
All right, Kelsey, take it away.
All right, so it's always a hard situation when people think that they're covered for something awful happens, they find out they're not actually covered for that incident. So what coverages do you recommend are worth adding that won't bump up the premiums too much?
Well, that's a great question because we run into that a lot. People will call in with something that's happened to them, either car or home, and that's when they find out. Not a whole lot of our customers, because we like to educate our customers and let them know what they have and what they don't have. But one of the biggest things is probably the deductible. People don't realize what their deductible is. They'll call in with a tree fell on their roof, and their deductible has always been $2,500, and they've just never had to use it. And then when something happens, they're like, "Oh, I thought it was $1,000." Well, no, you've had this for years. So checking your deductible is a great on all your insurance policies. Make sure you're aware of what comes out of pocket, because that's what you have to pay before the insurance company will start paying. The second thing I would say are water coverages, and without getting into the weeds about coverages and stuff, but water claims are probably the most prevalent claim. And there are coverages that policies will exclude. We have to add them in there. So talking to your agent about what all's included in your coverage and what's not is very important.
Great advice. Thank you.
Fantastic. We also have some questions coming in. I know you said watch this guy, Harry Slagle, but
yeah,
he does have a good question. He said, so if you move someone to a different provider, does that take effect immediately?
Oh, yeah, it can take effect day of or at the next renewal date. But yes, and it's really simple, especially if you have an independent agent. They can move you very easily, seamless. It's not a big deal.
And then we have this, of course. We had to throw a silly in to the Terry. If I see the USA in my Chevrolet, will the CIA CYA?
Terry.
Okay, I am not quite sure what that question is asking.
We'll move right along. Move you right along.
Yes, please do.
Oh gosh. Oh boy.
Melissa does have a good question. She wants to know, has the Coronageddon posed any problems in the insurance world?
Well, it has on the business side, kind of, in the fact that people are finding out what their policies do not cover. Talking about the business interruption and loss of income, that's kind of brought that to light, which is something that's been, it's excluded by most companies, but nobody's ever paid attention to it because we've never had to deal with it. And the companies that do offer it, people were not buying it because it was very expensive and they didn't think. So anyway, other than that, helping our customers and dealing with our small business owners who might be experiencing some difficulties. But as our agency as a whole, we've been good. We worked home for a while remotely, but now we're back in the office. Our office situation is such that we all have our own offices and we can social distance easily, and we don't have a whole lot of walk-in business. So we're kind of chugging along.
Cool.
Great.
Good deal. So glad to hear that.
Well, I have a question too. For a tip, I would guess, is what are some common misconceptions that people have about insurance?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Probably as far as auto insurance goes, a lot of people, we hear this a lot, is that my car's getting older, so why aren't my rates going down? The age of your car can play into your rates, but it's not the only thing. Insurance rates are determined by a lot of factors. It's the year, make, and model, but as far as how much was paid out total, you're in a pool with insurance. It's not just you specifically. What you do specifically can affect it, but first off, you're in a pool. So if you drive a car that has caused bodily injury, your rates, a lot of bodily injury to other people, your rates are going to be higher. It's just, it doesn't matter the age of your car that much. Another is at-fault accidents. People who, they're backing out of their driveway and they hit the side of their house, and it's like, they call in, I had an accident, but it wasn't my fault. Well, it wasn't the house's fault. So it is considered at fault because there's only one person to blame, and it's not the house. And then I guess there's lots, but one other one is, I'm sure everybody's heard about this. What if my neighbor's tree falls on my house? Shouldn't their insurance cover it? Well, no. Unless you have talked to the neighbor and have documentation that the tree was dead or, it was posing a hazard, your homeowner's insurance covers it. Now, I always say, that if you're a good neighbor, you might want to say that you'll cover their deductible for them or something, but they are under no obligation to, help you out there.
Wow. You learn something new every day. So when a policy owner needs to file a claim, what do you recommend is the first thing that they do?
First thing they need to do is call us. Okay. And actually, when I write new cars policies, I send them, we've got a little nice red pouch and we put their cards in it, and I include one of my business cards and I write my cell number on it too. because I know, I mean, I know what it feels like to be in an accident. And even in insurance, last year when I had an accident, I went completely blank as to what I was supposed to do. So I'm like, you know, if you're in an accident, feel free to call me or text me. I'll walk you through what to do. And then also things as little as a windshield, you know, a rock flies and busts your windshield or something. Call us. We've got something, so you don't have to do anything. We'll file the claim. We'll get the glass company to contact you. We have glass companies that'll come to you or set up an appointment to come to them. So it makes it, that's why we're here. That's what makes us different from a 1-800 number or, you know, just an online insurance company.
Perfect. Well, Cindy wants to know, does your credit score affect your insurance rate?
Oh, yeah, it sure does. Good question, Cindy. It plays a bigger role than most people know. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a dad call me. He's from Michigan, and his son is going to school down at Tuscaloosa, and they're buying him a car. He's 19 years old, and they want to put the car in his name and, you know, get his renter's insurance. Well, I quoted him, and he's 19, so he has no credit whatsoever. So that automatically puts you in the high rate pool right there. And it is a factor, but it's not the only factor. But that's why I suggested to him. And even though people, you know, credit cards can be bad, they get people in trouble. But, you know, small credit card, $500 limit, have him put just his gas and groceries on there and pay it off every month. That will start his credit building so that as a young person, he'll get better rates.
Okay, perfect. And then we have Cheryl wants to know if you offer event insurance, like weddings.
We sure do. We do. Now, they did put a moratorium on that during all the COVID thing.
Okay.
You know, because of people canceling, you know, that happens sometimes. It's kind of like during hurricane season, if there's one brewing, you know, getting ready to hit land, then that area will say you can't sell any more flood insurance until, you know, so that's to keep people from buying the flood insurance and then canceling it afterwards. So there's a reason for that.
Okay. Gail also wants to know, can you write insurance in other states?
We can. We could write in Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. So yeah, we're able to keep customers who move to our neighboring states and keep them as clients and keep them insured.
Fantastic.
Awesome. And tell us about your self-help tool that you guys have, as far as if a policy owner needs to review or change or start a new policy instead of a face-to-face. Is that something that you guys offer?
Well, you know, each of our insurance companies have their own app, which we encourage our clients to download so that they can do that. But, you know, I feel like we're working for our clients, and if they want to make a change or something, that's why we're here. Exactly. And, you know, people mess up. We've had customers mess up their policies by trying to do it themselves. Yeah. We're like, come on, let us do this for you.
Please.
So we prefer, and everything can be done electronically, you know, signatures. I hate it because I like visiting with people, and I like the, you know, personal, but yeah, we can do anything remotely now.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Well, we are already almost at 25 minutes. I can't believe it.
Oh, no.
Do y'all want to show off some of Lavon's humor skills?
Oh, I have to. We have to.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
We couldn't pass this up because Lavon, you're hilarious, and you're hilarious in person, and in social media, you are equally as hilarious. So we thought we'd do a new segment called LOL with Lavon.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, goodness. Kelsey, you want to kick us off? We all handpicked what made us laugh the hardest, and we wanted to share it.
It was a really difficult it was difficult to pare them down because they're all funny. If you're not friends with Lavon on Facebook, I'm sorry. You're missing out on a lot of
Go find her.
So
Yeah, you can ask. I may accept. You can ask.
This was one of my favorites.
Oh,
So Lavon decided to put her dog's shock collar on her leg. And she says, our agency is still working remotely and ready to help. It is going great. Although I did have to put a dog collar on my ankle so I can shock myself every time I want to go to the kitchen. Oh, man.
That was tough working at home next to the kitchen.
Oh, really. I know. It is so funny, though. This is also one of mine. Found a serious leak under the sink. Most insurance policies don't automatically cover this kind of leak, but it can be added to your coverage. Love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got a few more. This was one that I picked that I just made me laugh. If you're really worried about the coronavirus killing us all, quit buying toilet paper and start buying life insurance. Call me.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, that just made me laugh so hard. I'm like, everyone's so worried. You're like, hey, stop thinking about toilet paper. Put your money in the right one.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So you obviously have always had a sense of humor, I would say.
Yeah, but I was surrounded by funny people, I think, I mean, some of my friends in high school are some of the funniest people I know. And, you can't take life too serious. You can't take anything too serious. And that's, I've tried to instill that in my children. And unfortunately, they do have our wicked sense of humor, too. So we are breeding that.
Well, it's really awesome to have an insurance agent that has such a sense of humor because insurance can be boring. And
yes.
You, Lavon, are the furthest thing from boring.
Yes, most definitely. And before we go, there's a couple real important questions I know we definitely want to get in here. As far as Collins Insurance Agency, what is the difference with your insurance agency compared to, I guess, the rest of the agencies out there? What sets the CIA apart?
Well, specifically, I have the pleasure of working with the best group of people. Our agency owner, Mike, his father actually started this agency back in the early 50s.
Oh, wow.
And then Mike went to school. He graduated from Auburn. And he took over, I think, in about 1995. So, it's been around for a long time. That tells you something right there for an insurance agency to be around that long. But we genuinely care for our clients. We put them first. If somebody calls in for insurance and I cannot get them the best possible insurance for the best price, then I will refer them. I have referral partners in other companies. I will go, talk to them first. If they can't help you, come back. And they appreciate that more than anything. Some of my best compliments as an insurance agent has been from people I couldn't write.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody in this agency put our clients first.
That says a lot. I mean, people have to have someone they can trust.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also, too, I've got this little badge that says I'm the world's greatest CIA agent, too. So
that's official then.
There you go. I'm official.
Okay, well, the last thing I wanted to ask before we jump into the hot seat is how often should people review their policies?
We'd love for people to review them once a year or at every renewal. Of course, we do understand that is probably on the bottom of everyone's list of things that they want to do. So, but we are proactive. We call our clients. We know we've got a schedule set up at renewals to call them, and at least every other year. We prefer every year, but every other year, because people have the same insurance for 10 years and they've never even looked at their policy. So we try to be proactive about that just to avoid the situations where they think they have something and they don't.
So who are the best referral partners for you?
I love me some realtors and mortgage brokers. They're dealing with the people who are going through these major changes, which usually kind of triggers a change in insurance, or at least looking at it. Also property managers. I love dealing with young people. They start out renting. I like to work with them because they're going to eventually be buying houses and having families and stuff like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sarah,
I'm going to I want to show your contact information because we want to make sure that we get that out there so that everybody knows how to reach Lavon.
Mm-hmm.
And before we move into the hot seat, is there anything else that you wanted to share that we didn't cover today?
No, I think y'all did a great job at covering a lot of stuff. But, I'm just excited. I like to help people and just happy that. So I did not ever predict. I've always liked to help people. I volunteered and PTO, did all that stuff when I didn't work. But, to get paid to help people understand and cover things that they go to work every day to pay for their house and their cars and to be able to help them protect it. I mean, what better job is there?
Yeah, truly.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, now we've had so many fun parts, but now we're going to conclude with one of our favorite parts, which is the hot seat.
Oh.
All right. Who's got the timer today?
I could do the timer.
Oh, you'd think that we would be ready for this since we do it every
I'm ready. I'm ready to press start.
Sarah is ready.
Are you ready, Lavon?
I think.
Okay. Let's do it. All right. Disney World or the Bahamas?
The Bahamas. I hate Disney World.
Okay. Music festival or a Broadway show?
Broadway show.
Okay. Begrudgingly. Museum or the movie theater?
The mini theater.
Okay. Sunburn or mosquito bites?
Oh, neither.
Okay. Flannel or floral?
Flannel.
Do you prefer a beard or a clean shave?
Clean shave.
That's for men, not you. Diamonds or cash?
What was the first one?
Diamonds.
Diamonds or cash? Cash.
Yeah. Arcade or laser tag?
Laser tag.
Cookies or chips?
Chips.
Okay. Would you rather bowl or play mini golf?
Oh, I love both of them, but mini golf is fun.
Okay.
All right.
That wasn't too tough, was it?
Yeah, not too tough. Painless.
Well, Lavon, we really, really appreciate you coming on with us today. Had such a great time. Like I said, my eyes are still watering from laughing so hard. So,
well, can I say one more thing? I can't get out of this without adding one more thing.
We would not expect anything different. You go right ahead.
I did want to give a shout out to our BNI group. That's our business networking group for people who aren't familiar. I feel so blessed to be in our group. I work with a bunch of high achievers, great, successful people, and that has helped me tremendously to grow and to be able to succeed at my job. So all of those that are watching, I do thank you.
Oh, and I will tell you this, I think we hit a record. We actually have, for the number of viewers at one time. So you definitely are very well liked and respected for sure.
Well, I love being number one.
I was going to say, you're part of that competitive bunch, just a little bit in our BNI group. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up again. Thank you so much, Lavon. It's just been such a pleasure. And we want to let everybody know that we will be back on Biz Talk Friday morning at 8, and we will also have a live marketing mix on Thursday at noon. So hope y'all have a great day, and thanks again for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
See y'all. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.